Do that one more time.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You have found the Gamer Social Club podcast, where I am having video difficulties and I look like a robot. And I am joined by none other than the Whore for Horror, aka the biggest Space Marine 2 fan out there, aka Fraser F-Bomb. Fraser, how are you, buddy?
Nathan, mate, I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm doing very well.
Good.
Yep.
Good. And I am also joined by Toot all aboard the emulation station.
I'm done. We're out of here. Cut it.
We're done. All I said was toot toot. I didn't even continue. Oh man.
I was just fucking with
But yes, I am also joined by Russell, the Love Muscle. Russell, how are you?
I think that's worse somehow.
I mean, that's been a nickname that I've had since I was like 15, so I don't know what to tell you.
How have you been?
I'm alive.
Man,
I'm kicking, I guess.
I hear you. And ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, One Hot Dragon, aka One Hot Wukong, aka take negative 20%, Nathan.
Yeah,
and
man with the guides.
Man with the guides.
We should call you like shaman or something. The shaman.
The shaman Wukong.
The guide maker. Like, you know, there's like the key master and the Matrix.
Yeah. I've never seen the Matrix.
Dude.
I have a problem.
Get out. Okay, we're gonna need we're looking for a new host of this podcast. Anyone? It can be anyone at all.
In fact,
as long as
Steve,
you've seen
I
the
know
Matrix.
you're in the chat.
Yeah.
Steve, we're gonna need you to
Steve's
step
here.
this up here.
Steve
But
will be the new host.
Yeah. I'm shook. It's like, for whatever you may say, whatever you may think, The Matrix is possibly one of the greatest sci-fi films like ever made.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
And again, like things, sequels are sequels. Personally, I loved how they developed the story. Even the new, like the latest one, even number 4. Like, sure, they might not be great, but they just build on that story and they build that world. And the Matrix is fucking, get out. I'm done.
It's just one of those things that, like, the one time I sat down to watch it, I just realized this isn't going to help my case. I fell asleep.
It's just getting worse.
So Frasier, I thought it was boring.
Oh wow, okay. See,
I've only seen the first movie, and actually the only reason I watched it is to get, so like after the Matrix, like everyone, you know, Neo, it's the Matrix, and I was watching. So believe it or not, if you've ever seen Clerks or Chasing Amy or all of those movies, there was a Clerks animated series on, of all places, ABC. It was there was only ever 6 episodes filmed, and I think only 2 actually aired before they canceled it. But I got the DVD with all 6 on it. I think I still have it somewhere. I might have to watch that when we get done here. Anyway, they do a Neo Matrix joke in there, and like I got it because like I knew what it was from and what, but I got it, but I didn't really get it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You hear something and maybe you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, you know, you shall not pass, but you know what it's from. Like you need to watch it to get. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's paint a picture, Nathan. You're watching John Wick, and he runs into the fucking thing, and he looks at Winston and he's like, we need guns. Did you just laugh for no reason when he said that? Like, because that's a direct quote from The Matrix. I need more guns? So, no, we need guns.
Oh.
And because they're standing in that white room, and all those shelves of guns go flying past. He's like, cool, we got heaps of guns. So they did a direct rip-off quote in John Wick. So it's like Neo from The Matrix as John Wick saying, we need guns. Did you just not laugh? Like, what happens here? You just sit in silence? I don't know. I don't know if you can see my rage meter just building.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Like I know like it's always been a thing of like I need more guns or whatever. I'm gonna need a gun. Like I never got it. I'm so sorry. I've let you down.
No, that's fine.
I've let
Totally
you down.
fine.
No, see, here's the thing. Is this unacceptable? Because
Yes.
I was fully prepared to come on here and just rip Harry a new one because for the exact same reason.
Okay, stop, Nathan. I'm arguing with Steve in the chat, and he just told me the only good Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith. Steve,
I would say that episode 1 is
He's
the
right.
best one.
Steve, I'm gonna ban you from the chat, and I'm gonna get someone to remove you from Discord if you keep up this behavior.
No. The only good one is episode 1.
Episode 1, yeah. I mean, listen.
Jar Jar Binks makes that series.
That's what I'm saying. What other Star Wars movies does Jar Jar Binks get the spotlight in more? It's episode 1. Come on.
So anyway, I would like to announce my resignation from the podcast.
Okay, so now we've got no host. We've got no co-host. Is it just me now?
It's just Fraser talking Matrix every weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, right. All right, we're going to talk about the second scene of The Matrix.
And you're like 6 months into this podcast.
By the end of this, Fraser's gonna be the only member left.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
carrying it. My back's already sore. Why not add more?
Yeah.
Oh man. So anyways, I'll go ahead and get into the Harry thing. Yeah, no, if you all hadn't already checked, this is the Gamer Social Club podcast here every weekend. We weren't able to do it last weekend. We were trying to do our regular Friday nights, and then, we tried to move it to Saturday, then that didn't work, and then we just couldn't do Sunday either. So we're just moving on to the next week, and if you hadn't already catched it, Harry and Adam, aka Oh No, It's Addy, sat down together and they talked news last week. They did an absolutely phenomenal episode. They talked all about the PlayStation Showcase. They talked all about PlayStation Network services being shut down. It's a great listen. If you hadn't listened to it yet, it's definitely worthy of just going back and listening to it, even if you already know everything that happened, because it's just fun to listen to those two guys talk. They know what they're talking about.
Hilarious.
They are. I'm going to contradict myself there because I listened to it, and hey, Harry, if you're listening out there somewhere, maybe you're coming back and listening to this, I want you to know that you guys did a great job. You did a really great job hosting. I could tell you were stressing out about that intro. Don't stress about it, man. You did great. The only thing is that you let me down. You let me down, okay? Out here, we need people we can trust to deliver our news. In the real news. In the real world. How can I trust you when you've never played a supermassive game, okay? How can I trust you if you never
Dude, you haven't seen The Matrix. You can't be saying these things.
Listen, that's why I apologize, okay? Because then I had to go around and yell at Harry about it.
Okay, so Fraser's seen like all of them plus one. I've only seen the first one, but Nathan hasn't seen any of them. Apparently, I wasn't listening earlier.
No,
I was bored, but at least I gave it a shot.
No, listen. I literally sat down to watch it and fell asleep. And
That's right. You said you fell asleep.
Yeah. So then it was just that thing of like the opportunity has just never popped up. It's never been like, oh, hey, we're all hanging out. You want to watch The Matrix? Or, oh, hey, look, here's the Matrix movie. And like, it's just right here on the streaming platform and we can't find anything to watch. It's just never happened. So, I'm just going to have to make it happen. This is a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. This is a wake-up call. And I realize that I need salvation, just like Harry needs to realize he needs salvation. The salvation of supermassive games. Those games are glorious. Listen, they're okay. But they are a lot of fun. I would definitely give them a shot. It's nice because like whenever you're listening to podcasts, when it's a Gamer Social Club podcast and I'm not on it, I know that I can just come back and respond on the next podcast. It's really nice. So on to the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is the Gamer Social Club podcast. You know where you are. The Gamer Social Club is a place where gamers from all around the world come and share their love for video games together in a positive environment. Our goal is to give gamers a platform to share their experiences, to add to the conversation in the games industry, to give more gamers a sense of community, and to bring a little more happiness into your life. Gamer Social Club started as a book club for gamers, and it is still going strong. Join us on our Discord channel as we cover 2 categories in a month. One being a new game everyone is excited for. Second being a backlog game. We are currently in the voting process for those things. And let's see, Fraser, I don't have it pulled up right now, but yes, if you join our Discord, we've got a list of games that we are all voting on. We got a poll running, so
right here if you want to.
I'll take my Adderall. Listen, I got a doctor's appointment on Monday morning. Don't you worry about it. I'll keep my attention. But yeah, so that's that. We've also got, don't forget to check out Harry's demo disc. Where we got a new issue coming up on March 1st. There's some cool demos you could be checking out at thegamersocialclub.ca. And then, let's see. We do have the Indie Spotlight coming up here in March. Now, it is going to be a little different than I had first talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to wait to say anything more on the Indie Spotlight until we have more information to give you. It is still in the prototype stages, if you will. So we're going to wait on that, but you can expect to see it somewhere in the March time. And then, Fraser, I'm going to toss this off to you. If you want to talk a little bit about the game of the month and what's coming up for us, are we having any fun? Is it just lame in the Gamer Social Club Discord? Like, is everybody just like, oh, shoot me now? I'd rather be watching The Matrix.
No, this month has been fantastic for the game of the month. Like, we've been playing State of Decay 2. It has been, I've jumped into a couple of games with a couple of different people. I only played State of Decay when it first came out, and then I dropped off very quickly. Picking it up again, it has had several giant updates. There's a full-on story mode, which is not connected to like the other mode that they have. Multiplayer is cool. You can kind of jump in and out. Originally with your multiplayer, you didn't get any sort of progress, but they've changed that now. You don't get story progress, but at least you get progress on the character that you bring. And if you bring a specific character, they come with their traits. So I had a friend join me who could upgrade my vehicles for me. I didn't have anyone in my community that could upgrade my vehicles. So he came across, upgraded all my vehicles for me, and then he died. So it's fine. And it's permadeath too. So if your character dies, like, he's done. It is rough.
That is rough.
It is rough, but it is a lot of fun. I urge anyone who is like sitting on the fence about it, like now's the perfect time to play it, because there's just a whole bunch of fun things happening.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's the fun thing about the whole entire backlog series is, you know, I think many times we sit there and we're just like, well, nobody's playing it right now. I wouldn't have anybody to talk to. I mean, that's what this is all about, right?
Exactly, and it's working really well. And so we're coming to the end of February. I cannot believe it,
dude. It's
even
insane.
though February's it's a shorter month, sure, but it's only a few days shorter. Like, it's not like it's a week or anything. But I've just popped up the poll for next month. I'll read off the games, and if these are some things that you might be interested in, again, we'll pop links in the description below. You can come and join us on X or Blue Sky. All right, so we got Greedfall, Forgive Me Father, which I don't know if anyone's seen that, but that's like a first-person, cel-shaded it looks brilliant. There is a sequel to it as well. We've got Plague's Tale Requiem. I don't know if any of you have played that. But
I have.
Plague's
It's
Tale
an absolutely phenomenal game, and it was in my running for
Yeah.
Game of the Year of that year. Such an amazing game.
Fantastic. Is Requiem the sequel?
Yes, Requiem is the sequel. Innocence is the first one.
Right, so I've played the first one, and I absolutely loved it. But just for whatever reason, I never got around to playing the second one. So I don't know. We'll see. This might be the time.
It could be on Game Pass still, I believe.
Maybe.
I'll double check while you read that.
The next one is Have a Nice Death. Now, I know nothing about this. A couple of people have been talking about it recently. Do either of you know anything about this game?
I don't.
Are you talking about Have a Nice Death or Have a Nice Death Day?
I believe it's just Have a Nice Death.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I see, because my thing is I don't know if I'll be able to get to any of the backlog stuff in the month of March. So when I was looking through the list, I was like kind of just looking up these games, and I quickly just kind of Googled that game, and I'm like, I've seen this game talked about. I've seen it's got good reviews. It's indie game. I was like, yeah, this sounds good. This sounds about right. If we did play a Plague's Tale Requiem, if we ended up going with that, I still got plenty of stuff to bring up. Oh, hey, at least you played a Plague's Tale, but you know, hey, get to work on that Supermassive game, Harry. Harry's in the chat.
I've played Have a Nice Death.
Is it what sort of game is it?
I mean, do you want me to send you a trailer or
just tell me? Like what? Like is it a?
Is it isometric?
I mean, if I remember right, hold on. Let me pull up some screenshots. I think it's isometric, if I remember right.
I mean, I could just look it up myself real quick. That could be something.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve. Love you, buddy.
Oh, Nice Death is actually on Game Pass too.
Oh no, okay. This isn't what I was thinking it is.
Is it pronounced Anian? Anian? Is that how I pronounced your name? Because I keep wanting to bring you up because I see you in the chat. I just don't know how to pronounce your name. But yeah,
this is a 2D side scroller.
Yeah, it's a platformer and it's on Game Pass. And then Plague. I'm still looking up a Plague's Tale to see if that's on Game Pass.
Okay, I guess I haven't played this.
Yeah, I haven't played it. The next one is Owlboy, another one that I do not know anything about.
Who?
Owlboy.
Who?
Stop. Just stop. You're on fucking thin ice, mate.
I can't stop. Yeah, it looks like they actually took Plague's Tale Requiem off of Game Pass, it seems like. Now, however, you can get it for $20 on sale right now. And as Harry pointed out in the... any name will do. I'm going to be cooking. Yeah, as Harry pointed out, there's also the bundle you can buy that has a steelbook with both of the games included. So, because it's looking like right now it's a tie between Have a Nice Death and A Plague's Tale. Am I correct?
No, Have a Nice Death is up.
Oh, shoot. Okay. All right.
Yep.
There's that.
Thank goodness Greedfall is not. No.
Take
I don't know what it is about it. I did not. I played it for about 20 hours, and I don't know. I hated it.
I will second that, Fraser. It's not a good game.
but what it's been ages since I played it, but I feel like it was the writing and the voice acting that put me off. I might be wrong, but I feel like that the gameplay was fine. It's like, you know, it's just a standard RPG, but the voice acting was pretty bad. Then the last two, we've got Grounded and Sea of Thieves. So both of those are fantastic multiplayer games. Grounded did Grounded get put across to PlayStation? It did, didn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah. So both of those are available cross-platform now. I have played Sea of Thieves, and it is a lot of fun. So even if it doesn't get Game of the Month, I think Harry, and I think I was talking to Steve about it the other day. It might be a bit of fun to jump on.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the games so far. If you're keen, there is a link in the Discord. Go with Ian.
Ian. Dang it. I was going to go, and remember the little dibble-a-do. That's what I was going to say. But Ian's more simple.
Ian's more Oh, fantastic. So those so far those are the choices for our game of the month. We're also having a lot of fun with Avowed at the moment.
Oh yeah.
March is again another massive month for like AAA stuff. A couple of people have suggested that we cover Shadows. There's also Monster Hunter that does come out in February, but I mean it's like the last day of February.
Yep. And
yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
Having fun, having loads and loads of fun. I've been playing a bunch of Helldivers with Dark Magical Man.
Oh, that's great.
So if anyone wants to get on board with that Helldivers, mate, those new buggies are rough. They are rough. They explode into like a pool of gas, and you can't see. It's
See, I haven't fought the bugs yet. Like, I just played maybe 2 weeks ago. It was definitely like a week before Avowed came out. So I played a little bit, and it was still what's those things called? Like the aliens, like kind of
like the zombie things.
Yeah, that's the last thing I thought.
Are they the I call them the Illuminati, but it's not. It's
Illuminations not or something like that. It sounds like an indie band name. The Illuminations, right? Everybody.
No, those new bugs are brutal. They swarm you, and when you kill them, they like a area of effect thing goes out, and it disorientates your vision. You don't take damage from it, but you just can't see shit. It's fantastic.
Now, let's see. We're also, like Fraser said, we're also voting on what the new game of March is going to be. So we haven't set up the poll for it yet, but yeah, make sure to get your opinions and on the Discord on what game you're going to be tackling throughout March. I know Monster Hunter Wilds is being talked about, and Assassin's Creed Shadows being talked about. It's probably going to end up being Monster Hunter because Shadows doesn't even come out till the 20th.
Yeah. And at least like Monster Hunter's got multiplayer as well, so there'll be a bunch of us jumping into that.
Absolutely.
Harry just mentioned that about Grounded and playing with the custom settings. Like that's what I used to do in Ark. I actually never played Ark properly. I just like jumped in and would just build and build and build and build. So good. What's happening there? What is happening?
I'm sitting here reading the chat. His name is literally any name will do.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he keeps being like, "Sir, what's your name?" And he's like, "What's it to ya?" And like then he shows his ID and his name is "What's it to ya?" It's like I'm genuinely having that moment right now with any name will do.
It's so good.
Fantastic. Anyway,
hey people, if you're enjoying this, like and subscribe.
We are
Plug.
we are going to be getting into more topics on disavowed. We're going to be talking about Avowed, and we're going to be talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and what we've been up to, what we've been playing. I usually start off the show with, wanting to get into what have we been doing and how are the members of the show and all that stuff. But tonight, we don't have a whole bunch of news we're going to dig into. We kind of like to keep Friday nights cleared up for, just hanging out, but we still want to try to shift through the news real quick. It always goes off the rails, Dano. It always goes off the rails. But yes, a quick kind of update. We've got an Annapurna showcase coming up here on the 20th. We're going to be talking about the Pokemon Presents show and our predictions for that. But just some of the things that have been going on lately has been the Annapurna showcase is coming up on February 24th. It's coming up on February 24th, so stay tuned into that. That's a big game coming up. And then I know Karma, the Dark World, Russell's been playing that, and that's gotten a release date. That's going to be coming out March 27th, 2 days after Killing Floor 3. Me and Fraser are in on the Killing Floor 3 beta while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you lucky fuckers. I did not get in on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be playing that together. I got to get with Fraser off air and figure out if we can't try to make that work over the weekend. And there's also a Samurai Pizza Cats game that looks really cool. You all should check out. We covered an article for that.
That does look really cool.
It looks super cool. So be sure you're going to gamersocialclub.ca, checking out all the news. But let's go ahead and jump right into Pokemon Presents before we get into what we've been playing. So Pokemon Presents, they do this once a year, and it kind of covers a slew of different things. They kind of do it very... it's a little mix and mesh. Like, sometimes they cover cards. I don't think they might cover like the next set coming.
If we're being completely fair, at least last year's, I seem to remember it being like maybe 25% games, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because that's going to be one of my predictions is actually a Netflix show. So, it is coming February 27th. We are currently talking about even doing a live reactions to it. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know via Discord if we end up doing that, and I'll try to post it on our X channel if we end up doing a live reaction. But it is Thursday, February 27th. Let me double check because I said Thursday. Yep, Thursday. Thursday, February 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. for all our people over there in the UK. And then we've got 1 p.m. for Fraser down there in good Australia. Yes.
1
so
p.m. Finally, I don't have to get up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like,
can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Living large. This is how the big boys live.
Yes. So, let's go ahead and Russell, I want to hear what you're hoping to see come out of this and what your predictions are for the Pokemon Presents.
So before we get into what I want to see, as far as predictions go, there's that sequel to Arceus, I think that's supposed to come out at some point this year. So I'm sure we'll get an update on that, I would think. I would imagine they will do updates on the mobile card game and Pokemon Go as well. I think Pokemon Go just sold, actually, I read a couple of days ago. I don't remember. Anyway, like you had said, something about a Netflix show, that kind of stuff wouldn't surprise me. Maybe a movie. I don't know. I hadn't put a lot of thought into that. Now, what I'd like to see, I won't get too into detail. There is some what might seem like credible rumors. I'm not going to get into where they are or where you can find them and exactly what they are. But I would like to see some old school collections of the old Game Boy games.
Hell yeah.
Or if Nintendo would just bring back the virtual console, that'd be great too. But I mean, there's been rumors about that before, and nothing's come of it, so we'll see. But yes, Nintendo. I doubt you're listening to this, but Game Boy Gens 1, 2, and 3, a collection would be awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
all you have to do to get Nintendo's attention is just Nintendo, I'm breaking copyright rules. Nintendo, I'm breaking copyright rules, and then they just show up.
But no, so I don't know if you guys realize. I don't. Did either one of you have a Wii U or no?
I did.
No.
I know the Wii U had a virtual console. Were the original Pokemon games? Were they available on the virtual console?
I don't think so. I don't remember it being that way. No.
If they weren't, the last time the games were actually available to purchase, that I'm aware of, I believe was on the Wii and the 3DS.
I didn't even know you could. Now, here's what I will say. I didn't even know that you could buy it on the original Wii. So I might be the wrong guy to ask.
Maybe they were. To be fair, the Wii U had a really short lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do very good.
Well, it had like a whopping total of 18 U games.
Well, I mean,
it was very fugly. Can confirm.
If you ever want to take a crash course into what not to do with the console, definitely make your marketing so your audience can't even tell that it's a new console, and it'll do pretty terrible.
But they made the Wii for you, so you know
your
that
Wii.
way it's like, your Wii.
Yeah. Wii U.
And it weed nowhere.
Yeah.
It's your wee, okay? But let's see. Yeah, I would love to see that too. I would love to see Game Boy Color games, and why not make that a thing of, hey, whenever the Switch 2 comes out, we've got our subscription platform where they have old systems. They've already put Game Boy games up on there. So why not make it be where, hey, all of our subscribers to Nintendo Online, why don't they go ahead and get people exclusively on the Nintendo Switch to get Game Boy, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Yellow, and stuff. That would be a console seller in and of itself. I mean, would it not, Russell?
I mean, maybe I would just prefer to be able to buy them.
I mean, it would be nice.
Like everything that's on the Nintendo Switch Online, like the other thing to consider with this, if they did this, is Nintendo. I mean, with the Virtual Console, at least on the Wii and the 3DS, things weren't like horrendously expensive. I think Pokemon Red and Blue was like $3 or $5 or something, so it wasn't like insanely unreasonable. I could see Nintendo getting a little money happy with like the N64 games and whatnot, but yeah, I would just like to purchase them personally. But yeah. I don't see Nintendo. They seem pretty dedicated to their online service, and it sounds like it's going to be carrying over to the Switch too. So I doubt they're going to change course on that.
Yeah. And then we've got Any Name Will Do was talking about how Microsoft is also making a similar mistake with their Xbox. What are your guys' thoughts on that? With like in comparison to the Wii U.
What, you mean the naming scheme?
I mean, I would assume that's what you're talking about. Am I right? Are you talking about the naming scheme, or are you talking about just their plans in general in the coming future? Because, I mean, I will say the naming scheme, 100%. The naming is fucking horrible.
Assuming we're talking about the naming scheme, I've never been shocked about that. You have to keep in mind that Xbox has and always has been owned by a computer-based company. And like, have you seen the way Nvidia names their shit, and AMD names their shit, and Microsoft names their shit? Windows 7, 8, XP, that's not counting. Or I think XP was before, so we had Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows Vista, and then let's start getting 7, 8, and we'll skip 9 for some reason. And it just they're terrible.
Well, see, when you know how they like the Xbox 360, then they went to Xbox One, and then Xbox One S, and then Xbox One X, S, 4, Xbox Scorpio.
Yeah,
Can we like?
Come on, Scorpio
I
was the best one.
Yeah, I thought Scorpio was going to be a thing, but no, it's just like a special edition little launch thing that we're going to do. We're going to change the name, and it's just going to be Xbox S 4. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want something crazy. I want like Xbox something. Like I don't know.
I would be curious if because I believe it was on the Interactive Distractions podcast. If you're out there listening, Jeff, I hope you're shedding a tear of joy. And Jeff brought up a really good point on the podcast the other day about that fact of if they end up going the route of they make a console where it is upgradable and you just add in different parts, and this is kind of like their last, it's going to become more of a updated phone, going to be more in line with, you know, you got the iPhone you got it annually, here's new parts for your Xbox. There's a possibility we could just go back to it being Xbox period. And I was like,
which I'd be fine with.
I would be fine with that too. Like, kind of make it basic, simple, back to, you know, where they started.
And then we're doing a Series X upgrade, or you can upgrade it to like upgrade your
That would be awesome.
No. In that case, you have to call it the Ultimate Xbox.
Xbox Prime. Get some Warframe vibes in there. Xbox Prime.
Xbox Prime. Partnering with the new Transformers movie featuring Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, and we have this exclusive. There's only one, and we're giving it away. You can't buy it, but it's going to be an actual Transformer Optimus Prime. Nobody can get it. It's just going to sit there and torture us all.
We're just going to give it to some random content creator.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And that will be the next gen console. It'll play Doom at 360 FPS, and only one will exist.
Yeah, it'll play Doom at Xbox 360 FPS.
I mean, hey, anything will do was saying how Sony is a hardware company, Nintendo is a gaming company. Both serve software and hardware, and you know, Steam Deck's kind of getting that right, and Microsoft is making the mistake of just becoming a plain old third-party software studio. And hey, that's the kind of the thing is you look at Nintendo. I love how we're here to talk about Pokemon Presents and we're talking about Xbox, but you know that's
this is what happens when you go live.
Exactly.
Yep.
But no, you know the thing about it is you got Nintendo, who is out here. They're doing both things. They're a game company, right? So they're doing their own weird Nintendo thing. You got PlayStation, who's still hard on the hardware, and they're still playing the console wars. And Xbox is just now at this point where I personally feel like they're realizing we need to find our own thing. And I've talked about it before, you know, they are aiming for the streaming, the cloud, Xbox Play Anywhere. So they've been on track for a long time to be, Xbox Everywhere campaign, exactly. Where it's like, hey, we're going to, as Dano said, as long as it transforms into...
like on it. As long as it plays
I love it.
I don't give a shit.
But you can make the disc slot the Transformer's mouth. Just like cram his mouth full of discs. No, but Xbox has been on this train for a long time of we're going to be the Xbox everywhere people. And honestly, I'm fine with that as long as it keeps Xbox afloat. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit if I'm using a PlayStation controller to play these games as long as the games exist and the games are thriving. Yeah, I know you hate the DualShock.
I don't want to play on a PlayStation controller. But yeah, I'm with you though. Like I don't really care. Like Dano wrote that article about old mate, about saying like we just make games. We just want to make games and play them. Don't talk about playing them. Don't talk about how shit they are or how woke they are or how not woke they are. Just play them and enjoy them. And where you play them, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
I love how both sides of that conversation are equally like, don't go woke, but also stay out of politics. But then it's like, there's no winning with that conversation. And I firmly believe those people are just out there to talk about video games and not actually play them. It could be argued that I am one of the people who just talk video games, but that's because I'm actually out here. I'm vicariously living through you, Fraser and Russell. All right. It's what I love about the Gamer Social Club. Like, I'm here listening to you all enjoy games and share screenshots. It feels like I'm playing them with you. Yeah, Sony controller drift scam. Yeah, I honestly, I hope, let's try to get this train back on the tracks of Pokemon. But yes, I hope that, the stick drift with the Nintendo Switch is going to be an issue of the past. Russell kind of already talked a little bit about his predictions, and I kind of want to talk with you guys a little bit more about Pokemon Z through A. But before we talk about that, my prediction so far is I definitely think we're going to get an announcement, hopefully even a date, on the Pokemon Concierge show that is on Netflix. I know that season 2 has been confirmed, but I can imagine we'll see this come up at the PlayStation, the Pokemon Presents. So there's too many P's. Yeah, no, so I could see that showing up. I could see... I would love to see those Pokemon games on back compatibility or like on their streaming service. And that's the thing that I always hate talking about when we talk about Nintendo predictions. And I've gotten to the point where when people do talk about Nintendo predictions, I'm usually like, I'm good. I'll wait until the next episode when I'm consuming content, because of the fact of it kind of gets hard as a Nintendo fan to sit here and get your hopes up or get excited about things that Nintendo is doing when they're always going to go the route that you're not thinking. They're always, I mean, come on. How long? How many years? I mean, literal years. I've been consuming video game podcasts since 2019, and people have not stopped predicting Metroid Prime 4 is going to show up at this next showcase every single time Nintendo opens their mouth. And I've just stopped listening to predictions. I'm like, Nintendo's just going to do what they want when they want, like always. And it makes it hard to predict anything. The Pokemon Presents, it's a little easier to predict. And, because like we basically already know Pokemon Z through A is going to be there. And I think it's a safe bet to say that an active show that's been confirmed for a season 2 is also going to be there at this. I know there's some rumors going on about Niantic, the creators of Pokemon Go, being bought out. That is a rumor. I'd be interested to see I don't think we'd see an update like that at a Pokemon Presents if that's something that ends up going anywhere. Let's just hope and pray that doesn't go anywhere. But again, we're not a rumor place, so we're not going to talk about that. I assume we're probably going to see some updates on Pokemon Go. I would love to see what's coming for Pokemon TCG. I guarantee you Pokemon TCG gets brought up. That game has been amazing. I can't remember we've done an article on it before, but it's been doing some record-breaking numbers for sure. But yeah, let's talk a little bit Pokemon Z through A. I don't think you're too keen on it, Frazier, but like, I did you ever play Arceus, Russell? I think I've heard you talk about it before, but did you get very into that at all?
I actually have not played it. I keep getting told to. There's something about this is gonna sound really strange, and maybe it's just the old man in me talking. I don't know. There's something about like 3D Pokemon that just hasn't really vibed with me. I guess I'm too stuck in the past on that one. But I mean, I know this is shocking. I would rather go back and play like Red and Blue or Fire Red or something like that. But I have plenty of people telling me to play it, and it looks cool. I just haven't it's in the backlog for whatever that's worth.
No, I understand. I played it for a little bit. I understand the love for it. I think it's amazing, and I think that it flirts heavily with what I think has been the millennial dream for where Pokemon could go one day. Like, I mean, we've always dreamed of having that like console experience, open world, and a truly dedicated RPG AAA experience with Pokemon. And it's almost there. My issue with it is it makes you realize just how much the tournaments and the gyms have been without it. Pokemon feels a lot more empty. So I feel like Arceus definitely divvied up the Pokemon consumers in the sense of, okay, well, people who love Arceus, those are the people who love to go on collectathons. People who weren't into Arceus are the people who love the strategy of the battle. So, Powell giggles. But yeah, I kind of think that's what Arceus's problem was. Now, it still sold gangbusters. I hope that with this game, what they're doing is, I hope that they're listening. You know, they took a year break, and now they're coming back. Hopefully that means they've been listening to your feedback, and that now with number 2, they're going to be kind of maybe going back to roots a little bit, but trying out these new things with the open world settings and things of that nature. Do you think that would even happen, Russell? Do you think they're actually out here listening to our feedback and give a shit?
It's hard to say. For one, I believe Game Freak, if I'm not mistaken, is at least 2 different teams now. Because I think they got the main team that works on the mainline games that come out every 3 years, the games that feed the cards. And then I think the other team works on like Arceus, however the hell you want to pronounce it. Whether or not that makes a difference, who knows? I mean, they just. I would say your answer lies in the fact that Scarlet and Violet was horribly optimized, and everyone begged for patches to patch the game to make them more optimized, and we got DLC instead.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you.
I kind of find it hard to believe they are listening based on that. I think I even heard and read that Arceus had some polish issues, not nearly to the level that Scarlet and Violet.
No.
But Scarlet and Violet, unfortunately, when it comes to optimization, I don't know how you get around that and like listen to the fans, because those mainline games in particular, they have to come out every 3 years. They're not going. I think that they would rather release the games, have them be mediocre and broken, and maybe not sell very well, because then they'll make a ton of money off the cards because of the new Pokemon. So yeah. I don't think I think the games are almost secondary at this point.
Yeah,
they just feed the machine.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. As long as people are out here buying the games, they're not going to change what they're doing. And I think that's the thing, is like kind of personally checks me out of the franchise a little bit, is just because I'm like, when a game comes across my desk and I feel like it suits me, great. But like I have been a Pokemon fan for as long as I've been alive, and it's that thing of when I feel like they're actually listening and giving us what we want, then I'll start getting more into these Pokemon Presents predictions and being more like, oh boy, I hope they're listening. Oh boy, I hope they're going to do this, that, or the other thing. No, they're going to do their own thing, because no matter what they do, people are going to buy it. That's just, it's as simple as that. Like your glasses, Fraser, you look beautiful today. Absolutely stunning.
Thank you. I always forget to wear them.
Yeah.
And then my eyes get sore. I'm like, why are my eyes sore? Oh yeah, that's right, because you're old and blind.
Would do it. That would do it.
I only have to wear them when I'm like in front of the computer. Like, they're just like reading glasses. But so they just like sit down there, and then they get piled under like a pile of shit. And I'm like, where the fuck are my glasses?
Well,
Monique will come in and she'll be like, where are your glasses? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen them for days.
You sound like my daughter. I don't know. They could be anywhere. We are at about an hour now, so let's go ahead and cut it here with the Pokemon Presents talks. And we'll consider the show going from here, our post-show, so to speak, and get to talk a little bit about what we're up to, what we've been doing. I gotta learn, kind of keep an eye out over the next week, because personally, I gotta kind of figure out. 5 pairs of glasses is impressive. I've got one and they're falling apart. I really need to get an updated pair. Keep an eye out for how I post this, and give your feedback on how you prefer to digest our content, because what I'm going to do is figure out a way to kind of break this up and be like, hey, here's our Pokemon Presents predictions in one talk, our episode, and then cut this next conversation into a separate one. Kind of make it a little easier for the people who are listening later. So yeah, don't forget to always be giving your feedback, guys. We really appreciate it.
We want it.
Yes. So with that being said, we've been playing a lot of Avowed, a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Fraser specifically has been really busy with a lot of other stuff. And speaking of Monique, I'm mad at her. I'm very upset with her because
what did she do?
I've just been sitting here, admiring your handsomeness, and I'm like, something's off. Something's off, man. I miss the 360 display, man. I miss it so much. Like, tell Monique that my feelings are hurt by this action, and for my sake, it should go back up. Because I know how much Monique cares about me.
Yes, she cares. Greatly. But I posted up a couple of pictures to kind of hold myself accountable as to the state that this room had gotten. And I walked in one day and I was like, do you know what? She's right. We live in a shoebox, and she has been kind enough to kind of let me take over this room. And then I kind of started to take the piss a bit. And that 360 display, it is big.
Yeah,
it takes up.
Oh yeah,
when I'm sitting at my desk, my chair rubs on the controllers.
Oh really?
On the back of it.
Damn.
So it's big. So I've put it away again, but it's accessible and it's usable and it's working. So. It's like we got this little nook in the corner of the room where I don't know if it's like a Melbourne building thing, or for this room to be able to be classed as a bedroom, it has to have a window. So they've cut the other room in half, and there's this little hallway to a window.
Really?
Yeah. So I've got the Xbox just in there. But in saying that, we cleaned up this room. I've thrown out a bunch of stuff. I've sold a bunch of stuff. and it's given me so much more drive to be in here. It's nicer to be in here again,
Good.
and yeah, feeling really good, man.
I love to
Really
hear
good.
it. I love to hear it.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, man? I feel like it's been every time we miss out a week, it just feels like
Yeah.
ages again. Um, you said I know you've been messaging me a little bit about like how busy you've been lately. People have been reaching out to you about your YouTube and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what all have you been up to, man? What have you been playing?
I somehow have tapped into the seedy underbelly of indie horror, and I love it. I love it so much. I think the thing about horror for me is that it comes in so many different shapes and sizes, and I'm being sent these like demos and previews and little bits and bobs, and I'm like, I've got no idea what I'm doing, and it just makes it so cool. So you load it up and you're like, what is this? Oh, okay, it's a first person shooter fighting monsters. Great. What's this? Oh, there's no combat in this. This is weird. And then you kind of just creeping along, and then like you're getting frights, and it's all about atmosphere. And then there's gore, and then there's like aliens and monsters and robots and ghosts, and there's just so many things that can be in it. And so I've just been going ham on these indie horrors, and I actually woke up this morning to 90,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Hey, congratulations!
Which is
That's
thank
amazing.
you so much. Which is so, it just doesn't seem real. It doesn't. I feel like at the beginning of the year, not this year, last year, the beginning of last year, I hit 1,000 subscribers from a random short. A random short just like went insane.
Yeah.
And from then on, I've just been focusing on shorts, focusing on like doing these fun little like let's plays. I haven't been doing too much crazy stuff. I haven't been streaming. I want to start streaming again. It's just been I just don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But whatever I'm doing, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
And yeah, just getting some fun things happening.
And the thing is, man, as long as you're out here just having fun and you're loving the process of creating, then just keep going. You know what I mean? That's what's going to burn you out. And Carrie 13, if you listen to this later and you can hear me out here, I meant to respond to your message in the Discord chat. I would say the exact same thing to you, man. It's hard being a content creator. A lot of people do this for years and years and years and years and never get anywhere. And, that's the thing is like whenever we started this YouTube channel, I felt the same way of I'm in this for the long haul. And I think that's the thing that kind of gets me through it is as long as we're in love with the process of creating this and we are in love with the process of every Friday night we catch up and we talk and, no matter what we're doing, we're talking news, we're talking this, that, or the other thing, as long as we're having fun and, we genuinely enjoy each other's company, then we're why not, and I think the rest comes later. That all follows later. And I think your YouTube channel is a perfect example of that. You were playing Hitman, you were super hard into it, and you started creating those reels, and they blew up, and here you are, you just having a gay old time playing that, and the other thing, and it's blowing up.
6 years. It's been 6 years.
6 years
to get to here.
Yeah,
and it's a bit like the word disheartening is it's not right, but it kind of is. Where I'll do a let's play of a fun little indie game that I absolutely love. I put it out there, and it gets like 20 views. And you're like, oh, cool. Why am I doing this? But dude, that's 20 people. That's fucking 20 people.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people. If you stand in a room with 20 people, it's like, it's. And so I found like I burned myself out last year doing it, just trying to keep up with video, edit, and it's too much. So I took a huge step back, and I just post a short every 2 days, and then I'll do a like an indie horror let's play, maybe with my camera, maybe not, once a week.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been it at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you gotta do, though. Hey, I'm gonna drop his link into the chat. Okay, guys. That is the link to Fraser's YouTube channel there. If y'all want to go.
Nathan.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not good enough. You're doing it because you love it. Yeah. But no, I mean, I get that feeling though, dude.
But then like YouTube also is a slow grind.
Yeah.
Like I made a 100% collectibles guides for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think all up there were 50 videos ranging from 20 minutes to an hour long. Like you think how much time went into making those. And like I go back and people play them. People are still playing those old games. I get people commenting like, "Oh, thank you so much for your help." And it's like, do you know what? Yes, this is cool. This is why I do this. Like, yeah.
Any name will do. Just sub to your channel. So.
No, thanks, buddy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're diving into. We're going to be diving into some fun indie horrors. Just a quick shameless fucking plug right now. I am going to be playing Broken Law and shit, what's it called? From the Other Side.
Okay.
Over the next couple of days. So From the Other Side is you are a security guard sitting in your little security booth, and you're just watching a screen, and you have to click through the.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I've seen clips of this. Yeah.
Yeah, you click through the cameras, and it turns out that the building that you're a security guard in, they do like weird experiments in, and so all of a sudden something fucking crazy is happening on the screen, and you have to put your little little vest on, you get your little torch, and you have to go out and like fix the problem. Should be fun. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for it. I loved your clip the other day that you made of you playing that horror game. I was like, it was perfect. It was great.
I got the biggest fright. That game was so good. Death Omen.
Yeah.
Solo developer. Like it's so amazing what these people can create. Like the whole time the hairs on the back of my neck were just going. I was like, I know there's a fright coming. It's coming, and it still would get me.
That's what I was thinking too. Five Nights at Freddy, kind of like, yeah, that is the vibe you get from it for sure. Man, I'll have to send you some links to some of the ones I find. Every time I see one on Instagram, I'll go and I'll click that link and wish list the game like immediately before I forget about its existence.
Yeah,
so
I do too.
I'll let you. Yeah. I'll share my wish list with you soon. That way you can kind of get an idea of what I've been looking at too.
There's one other demo that I played. It's been I'm going to say talk of the town, but not really talk of the town. So there's a developer called 8-Bit Studios. Sorry, 11-Bit Studios.
Oh.
They are developing Atlas at the moment, and it's just been like it's had another delay. I feel so sorry for these guys because like it just seems to be delay after delay after delay for them. But there is a playable demo for Atlas on Xbox. I'm sure it's Steam and PlayStation as well. But I played the demo on Xbox. Dude, it's fucking cool.
Yeah?
It is going to be I didn't really know what it was coming into it. From all the pictures that you see online, it kind of looks like a Fallout Shelters kind of thing where you've got a base and you've got different rooms that you have to do stuff in. But you can leave the base and you have to go and get resources and things. But then stuff happens. and you're like, shit, I need to fix that, but I don't have the skills to be able to fix it. So you clone yourself. And you go back into your mind and change your memories to become a mechanic. And then you clone yourself and the new mechanic is born, but then you have a weird interaction with yourself and you have to kind of convince them that we need to do this together. They can, like, it's so weird.
That's
and
cool.
So eventually, you need to make food, you need to keep the processes working, you need to do, so you just keep cloning yourself over and over and over and over again. And certain clones fight, certain clones will try and kill each other, like, and then the mental side of it gets real messed. It looks I'm wrapped. I can't wait for it.
Harry, is that the name? Alters? I think that's what he...
Alters.
Okay. Yeah. Any name will do said. Never clone yourself. It always goes badly. It's true.
It was
I was thinking
so
of
cool. So you
what's
go...
her name from Indestructible. Shoot, the anime, or not the anime. Fuck. The Amazon show with freaking
The Boys.
Like The Boys. It's the one right beside The Boys. Freaking.
Oh, Indestructible.
Indestructibles.
No.
Thank you. Or yes, let's go with that. It's Indestructibles is what we're gonna call it right now.
Yep.
Kate, Invincible. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
You had me thinking of Kate, how she like duplicates herself and it just starts taking a toll because she's died so many times. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you need to, like, you open up your mind and you go back and find a memory that you can change to take that path where you need to become a chef or you need to become this. And I think it's going to be amazing. Like I said, I'm really upset that it has been delayed again. But do you know what? Let them cook. I think it's going to be brilliant.
I'm really excited to keep following all your different indie games you're following, or playing or whatnot. Have you been? Oh, let's catch up with Russell before we get into the big games you've been playing. Russell, what have you been up to, man? What have you been playing? Are you doing all right? How's the mental health?
You mean besides Kingdom Come Deliverance?
Besides Kingdom
Come. God, we do not want to talk about my mental health. That is a dark story. So as you guys know, I guess I'll shamelessly plug my YouTube channel. I screw around with retro handhelds a lot. I got myself the Retroid Pocket 2 S, which can actually run pretty much all 64 games, and then actually some GameCube, believe it or not.
Nice.
On this tiny thing. So
there's some time splitters in there.
I've been playing on 64. Whatever. I am not playing Time Splitters. But yeah, the little bit of GameCube that it does, I always end up playing like old Pokemon games and stuff on these things too, which is why I had said earlier that Nintendo needs to, fucking get me to use this thing again. Anyway, my Nintendo Switch. But I've always got a retro game in the bag somewhere I'm playing. But I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Filming stuff for my YouTube channel, writing stuff on the website. Same crap all you guys are doing too, I guess. Working too much.
You're muted there, Nathan.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Oh, shoot. I muted it to type, and then whenever I got a mechanical keyboard, so then I must have done it the other way around. Let's see. The Kingdom Comes. I've also been working a lot. You got a weird shit, though, don't you? Like, you're on, like, 4 days and off 3 days? Is that what it's like? Or is it just kind of different?
I work Monday through Friday. I just get up at 4 a.m.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I've also kind of been all over the place work-wise. Last Friday night, I couldn't do the podcast because we had a Valentine's Day dance. So I took my kids to that. It was really cool. Her and her brother were inseparable. And then, yeah, I'm talking about you. That's right. And that, yeah, at your school there was a Valentine's Day dance, wasn't there? And she told me this morning that she was like, "Who's your favorite Sonic character, Daddy?" And I said that, well, probably Shadow. And she said, "Well, I love Shadow too. I think he's cool," and then proceeds to go on a rant about how cool Shadow is. And she said that maybe one day she'll marry him. So she's out here making me proud.
She could do worse.
She could do worse. But yeah, no, I ended up going into work after that, and then I got called in Saturday night too, and then I got called in Monday night and worked like a 14-hour day Monday night. So it's been a crazy ass work week for me. And it's crazy because I'll go ahead and segue us into Avowed and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and stuff like that. But it's crazy because I had purchased did you see me talk about this in the chat, Fraser? The whole entire purchasing of the premium edition. I had just gotten I had just gotten the upgrade. And it's like $25. And the thing is I only ended up being able to put 2 hours into it, because then I ended up working so much, right? So I only put 2 hours into it, and that was as of yesterday morning. So I immediately reached out to Xbox and requested a refund and was like, "Hey, I didn't get to take advantage of this. I only put 2 hours in, yada, yada, yada." Immediately. It was like 10 minutes. Got a refund. So that was really awesome, because if you look at the Avowed premium benefits, all you get is 5 days early access, 2 skins for your companions, like a different set of skins for all your companions. And then the other thing you get is a digital art book. But let's be real here. Is anybody
gonna look at that, honestly?
Exactly. Who's out here looking at that? I would love to actually meet a real life person who's like, digital art book, you say? Sign me up. Here, take $25. But yeah, that's all you get. And me and Russell already talked about it a bit in the chat, where it's like, okay, well, Starfield at least had DLC that came along with it. Like 5 days early access is on top of. It's just one of the perks of buying the premium, not all of the perks. So
it's the only perk, yeah.
Yeah, so unless you're actually able to get that time in, it's pretty worthless to be grabbing. With that being said, I did get a little bit more time in with it yesterday, and so far I'm loving it, guys. I want to hear about your experience, Fraser, with it, because I know Russell's playing Kingdom Come Deliverance too. But like, I want to hear about your experience with it. So far, it's scratching the itch that Dragon Age didn't give me. I'm very obsessed with the world. Like, I don't feel like I have to learn everything, but the lore is so easily accessible to me if, capital letters underlined, if I'm interested. Like, I could just sit there and go through the dialogue, and I took a screenshot of this. You can, in the dialogue, if you don't already know this, it will highlight lore-specific words. So if somebody just casually drops, I went to Harihago area, land, or whatever the fucking, you're like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. It literally has, you can press X, and you can look at the history and the lore. So, Harihago, now you know the island, what happened there, the references they're making, so you're not lost. If you care, but you could just keep moving on and just keep playing if you want to. The characters are there if you want to talk to them, if you want to interact with them, but it's not forced upon you. So I'm already finding it's already scratching that itch that I wanted. So, with that being said, tell me about your time with Avowed so far, Fraser. Are you loving it?
So, first of all, I bought the premium edition as well. I got the physical. It's not physical, it's a steelbook.
Show me the steelbook.
It's very pretty. It's actually a very pretty steelbook.
I'm extremely jealous. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And so it's got like it's
wow. That's awesome.
But like we talked about before, there is no also it comes with a map, but the map it's cloth.
Oh, that's
like
pretty cool. Yeah.
Little cloth map, which, you know, I might use that as like a placemat. Anyway, there's no disc, obviously, like we talked about. It seems to be a common trend nowadays that's happening. We just don't get a disc. Personally, I don't know why it was $140. That's a lot of money for a collectible item.
Yeah.
But
especially when there's very little.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. Again, like we've talked about it, like off air and all that kind of stuff. Like, why, if they're going to be doing, if we're not getting a disc, why are there not more of these? Like, why are we not getting like empty steelbooks for other Xbox releases for collectors? It just seems like such an easy win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. And I had told Dano hopped in the chat a couple weeks ago, and yeah, Dano's I'm right there with you. The steelbook haunts my dreams. I even looked it up on eBay last night, and there's only one person listing it $75 just for the steelbook. So, and I was gonna do the whole thing where I was like, okay, I'll buy it and then I'll sell the code. But you and Dano spooked me on it because you're like, who's gonna buy a code that's available on Game Pass? Like, how many people are gonna want to go out of their way? I'm like, you're not wrong, because the fact of the matter is it's a premium code with early access, and if I'm selling the premium code after the premium access has ended, what good is it? So I got a little spooked on it, and I was like, I ain't gonna do it. And yeah, it looks like it's gonna be really hard to find physically. I'd say your best bet if you want one of those is to basically go into Walmart and be checking for clearances. Because you'd be surprised at those clearance deals in the video game aisle.
That's right. I have been loving State of Decay 2 so much that I found this steelbook.
That's awesome.
On eBay.
It's awesome.
For $10.
It's really cool.
So gonna add that to the collection. Like, you know, again, it's a Game Pass game that I have played, and I haven't paid anything for it. You know, giving some rando $10 for it.
Yes.
Fucking whatever.
Yes, exactly. I've got a bid in right now on eBay for a Black Ops 6 steelbook. So yeah, I think, you know, that's the perfect way to go. Is if you're playing it on Game Pass, why not buy the extra goodies that you don't usually buy?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's talk Avowed. Let's do it.
Avowed!
So, get a nice cup of tea ready. I'm gonna have sit down by the fire and let's talk Avowed.
We've really been edging this conversation.
Haven't we?
We've been talking about. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Hour 25 into the podcast. Let's go.
My cat's out there doing something. Tearing the fucking,
Are you okay?
My life apart.
What a tease.
Right. So, Avowed. For me, I am absolutely loving it. it is like what Russell said about Kingdom Come being almost like an older style RPG. I'm finding Avowed is a it's a new, like I guess they call it new school, new style RPG, where it's got all the RPG elements, but you don't have to do it. You're not you're not fucking around with 0.5% increase in lightning resistance. You're not fucking around with like all these like stats that like I don't know what that does. What does constitution mean for this particular game? Like I just want to hit stuff and I want to make stuff die. That's it. And that's what I'm loving about this. There's 5 core stats. You put them up, they put your health up, they put your speed up, they put your defense up, and then those stats are linked to your conversations. So you don't have to like dump all of your stats into being this like charismatic guy who can talk his way out of anything. Those stats carry across to charisma. So you don't, you don't have to like essentially not waste, but like you can be this big bumbling brute and still pass like charisma checks because of how much strength you have. So people are just intimidated by you by default. Or you can be an intelligent talker and talk your way through stuff. I'm loving how you are not locked into anything ever. So what's going on here?
Any Dane would do was talking about get the train on the rails.
So like I started off, obviously you get a sword and you get a shield and they're like, cool, this is how you do combat. You find a bow, cool, I'll start using a bow. No, I don't like the bow, I'll ditch that. You find a dagger and a pistol and like a spell book and a wand, and you get a rifle and you get all sorts of stuff. There's nothing stopping you from using these weapons. Like if you're like, again, I said, if you're a big bumbling brute and you think, do you know what? I just found this really cool wand. You can just respec on you pause the game, well not pause it, but you get out of combat and you just respec. Costs you a couple of $100 gold. And now you can be a mage. Like that's what it's about. That's what having this fun is about. Like again, I was using a rifle and dual pistols. And then Jeff posted a thing of this cool sword that he found. And I found that sword and I was like, fuck, I can't use this. So respect. Now I'm using a shield and a sword. And then I've got a pistol and a little dagger. And that's how I'm playing now. And you can having 2 like loadouts on the go as well it's brilliant. It's brilliant fun.
What's a Wanda rifle?
And no, I'm pretty sure that's from Zombies, isn't it?
Maybe.
From Call of Duty Zombies. But the combat is so fast and so fluid that it reminds me of what was it? It was one of the first games of the month that we played. EA. It was an EA title.
Immortals of Avium.
Immortals of Avium. Like it reminds me of that. Like I'm playing the whole thing in first person. I usually play RPGs in third person because I like to be able to see my character all kitted out in the cool armor and all the world. But the combat is just so much fun in first person that I just don't switch. I'm just playing the whole thing in first person. And it's you've got a dash, you've got a block. I'm starting to put some points into like I've got this like cool shield bash thing, so I can rush forwards with a shield bash and like do a stab and then move on to the next guy. And it's so quick. You're not like there's no like, oh, I have to run over and fight this guy. It's like you're there. You're on the next dude. You're on the next dude. You pull out your gun, you shoot it, you put it away, you start stabbing. Like I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I've got zero knowledge of the world.
Yeah,
I
me
never
too.
played the Pillars of something.
Pillars of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity. That's right. So I've never played that. I don't understand the godlike thing and the mushrooms on my face. That means nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But again, like it means nothing to me. The story is developing, and it's developing fast enough to keep me interested. But I'm actually here for the combat. I'm here to kind of experience that. The other stuff is fine, just coming along.
See,
But no, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Good. See, I think it's cool that me and you are having like two different sides of this conversation, because I also don't know anything about it, but I find myself being drawn into the lore because it is just right there. And especially the first dude, I can't think of his name, but the blue dude, I find myself
Fish
like,
dude.
oh, I want to learn more about this guy. Dude, yeah, you hope you don't run. It's crazy how my mind works over the fact that I couldn't think of Invincible, but all this, I was able to come out with Immortals of Avium out of my ass like it was nothing. And I haven't even played
Love
it.
it.
But yeah, no, the combat is really cool though. I'm really enjoying it too. Are you able to use a rifle and a wand at the same time, or is a rifle like a double handed weapon?
Yeah, the rifle's the double-handed.
Okay.
But you can have a pistol and a wand.
Okay. Yeah. So far, I
Pretty
see
cool.
myself leaning more into using a bow and then falling back on a shield and an axe as of right now, because the staggering capabilities. Good night, honey. The staggering capabilities of the axe has been something I relied on in the combat. Speaking of which,
I have abilities.
Megan's back here giving commentary. What difficulty are you playing on?
Just normal for me.
Just normal? Okay. I'm playing on
Yeah.
the hardest difficulty, and I find myself needing
Yep.
to be stealthy and needing to try to use range a lot and keep my distance. It is definitely challenging. Do you find yourself being challenged much with the normal difficulty?
On normal, I can. You know how each quest has a skull rating.
Yes.
I can easily do 2 skulls, but the 3 skulls is a challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Again, it might just be like I'm like when I play RPGs, I usually go like a sneaky archer. I don't know. It's just what I do.
That's
I've gone.
That's
Sorry.
what. Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say that's kind of what I've been leaning towards too. Was the archer. And do you remember the name of the class that you started out as? Because I think we both picked the same thing. Like, what was your background going into this game?
Oh, I did the like disgusting noble.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like yeah. I went him because I wanted to be this like sleazy politician.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the dialogue choices that you get with the noble is it's quite fun. He's a horrible person,
Okay.
which is cool.
Yeah. See, like, I want to bring that up for narrative purposes, or like the dialogue purposes, right? Because when you were talking about the dialogue, I wanted to bring up the fact of when you are having these dialogue options, and like Fraser brought up, you can sit there and, you can be good at being a brute, and that will still give you dialogue options. Something that stuck out to me like a sore thumb, in a good way, was the fact that there were dialogue points where it wasn't what kind of attitude do you want to have as it wasn't that. It was like, how would you like to steer the conversation? Like, you are actually given dialogue. How many video games nowadays are like, hey, here's all your dialogue options, here's this, that, and the other thing, and you can get your persuasive skill up to this, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the dialogue mechanic is literally just, the conversation is basically going to go in the same direction, but in a different way. In Avowed, the conversation goes in whatever direction you want it to go into, and based off of your background, it will also open up for that direction to be steered it. Like you said, you're an asshole, so it steers into that direction. And I'm a scout, so it kind of steers into a direction of like having the perspective of I need to sneak around a lot, or like I can go check it out first if you want me to, or do you already have that knowledge, or whatever. So I found myself in different conversations with random NPCs, and I'm like, wow, I don't know. I hope I can come back to this option, because there are some NPCs I've talked to just in my short time of playing it. I'm like, oh, I can't go back and find out what that dialogue option would have been. So what have you been thinking? Have you noticed that? How has that affected your time with the game?
Yeah. So originally, when I started, I put a lot of points into like perception to get that. Is it ranged damage and critical range up? And I found that there were a lot of dialogue options to choose doing that. When I moved away from that and I went more might and can't remember the other one now. There's actually a lot less. They're still there, but I have noticed that I'm not able, because I don't have those points in perception anymore. I'm not quite there. But this I think it's Noble Scion, I think is the thing that I chose. Something like that. Those dialogue choices often lead me to combat. Which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Like all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, my only options are fight or die. All right, let's do this.
And Any Name Will Do is talking about how like it used to be a moral choice path and it's not really much of a thing anymore. Now it always leads to the same ending. But to your point, Fraser, like what you're saying, in this game, it is definitely not that way. And it's really refreshing. Like really refreshing. Because it is that thing of, because you're a noble, like it actually mattered the background you chose for your character. I'm just now realizing like how much of a role that plays on your playthrough, because it did lead to a combat scenario for you in that dialogue. And I've been trying to do some research on like the secret achievements or the missable achievements, and some of the missable achievements in the game, if you're an achievement hunter, it's a negative, but if you're not an achievement hunter, it's just going to be cool to you. But some of the achievements are like, hey, the conversation went in this direction, and now like it's going to open up a boss fight with this person, or it's going to open up this fight. That can happen, and there are missable achievements from that. So, if you're an achievement hunter and that doesn't sound appealing, don't forget, this game is, you got save slots. You can save as many times as you want, and then just come back and redo the scenario if that's what you would like. So it feels non-consequential. Is that a word?
Sure.
It feels non-consequential. So, but yeah, I'm loving it too. We are trying to get Marcus on. He was going to try and be on tonight, but he wasn't able to make it. Marcus reviewed it for the website. I'll have to, once we're done airing, I'll put the link to his review in the description below. But Marcus gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and I'm already starting to see why he did that. Do you have any final thoughts before we move on to Russell and Kingdom Come?
No. I think that if you are someone who is on the social medias and you're seeing a lot of negative or positive feedback for this game, I think you need to take all of it with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Like, whether it be good or bad. Because it is an RPG, yes, but it's more of like an action an action RPG or like an action with RPG elements, but those RPG elements are quite substantial. If you're going into it looking for like a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 full on massive scrolling through Excel sheets of stats, you're not going to find that here. Like, this is just good old fashioned fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good shout out, because to anybody who hasn't been closely following Frasier over the past handful of months, he's kind of lost a little interest in getting into these super hardcore RPG games. So the fact that he's really vibing with Avowed like this should say something to RPG lovers. But yeah, with all that taken into consideration, and how you got Avowed on one side and you've got this game that is RPG-like, a little bit flirts with action adventure, things of that nature, how does this segue into Kingdom Comes Deliverance 2? Because I really think that's where...
You like fish people?
Do you like fish? Yeah, that's the thing. What would you think, Russell? Like, what made you lean more towards Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and picking that up versus getting into Avowed?
It came out first.
Yep.
No, so back in... So I played the original Kingdom Come near launch, whenever the hell that was, and it was a buggy and broken mess. So I kind of just washed my hands of that and never went back. Up until November? And they have put a lot of work in, and they fixed the original game, and I really enjoyed it. But there was a couple like major issues I had with it. But I thought I would give the second one a go. Much like Avowed, there was a little bit of online drama with some people that worked on it, and there's some other stupid shit, if you dig hard enough, that I'm not going to get into, that has been proven false. But anyway, the first one played a lot like an old Bethesda game, which, as Frasier would know, and as Nathan, you would know, would pique my interest a little bit. So I kind of knew what to expect getting into it. So it sounds like I was kind of trying to ignore your guys' conversation by playing Pokemon, because I do want to play Avowed eventually. So I wasn't sure if you were going to get into spoiler territory, but it's difficult to not, hear things now and again. It sounds like it's a little bit more user-friendly. You don't get any of that with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It is very old school RPG-ish. There is ways to cheese it a little bit. There's some workarounds with the save issue everyone seems to be having. Or, if you're on PC, there's some backdoor ways out of that one too. But anyway,
just go to backdoor ways.
Just get on Nexus mods. There's a quick save mod, and there's a regular save mod where you don't need the save your schnapps thing. But if you're on console, just like, if you're in that big of it, if you really need to save before you're gonna, like, if you're down to one lock pick and you really need to pick this lock that's on hard, but you're afraid you're gonna break it, if you pause the game and go down to save and quit, it will save, and then you can reload your game afterwards, and you're golden. There are ways to chase it. If you've been playing RPGs as long as I have, you learn those things. There is no quick save feature, as a warning though, which can cause you to lose a lot of progress.
Yeah, that's always upsetting, isn't it?
Yeah. I started my like big RPG stuff, if we're not counting things like Pokemon, probably with Morrowind. So like with Morrowind in particular, when you died and had to resave or reload and you hadn't saved in like a half hour, you just dealt with it. Much like you did with a lot of games back then. And we were talking before the podcast. I think Oblivion was the first one I played with an autosave feature. But anyway, so I don't want to give away too much, but like one of the things that I really like about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 no matter what situation you're in, generally speaking, there will be a handful of different ways you can tackle a situation. One that's coming up in my brain right now is there's a mission where you've got to go early on. You'll help this blind woman and her daughter, and then later on in the game, she'll have taken off to town to get something, and then she's kind of gone missing, and you got to track her down. You got to start by basically tracking down her boyfriend, and there's a
Is
couple
he
different
blind
ways.
too?
No. Um, I mean, it was the mother that was blind, so that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I could see where you were going there, but it kind of didn't make any sense. Anyway, so like even as to the way I play, my first thought is, well, I got to get into this guy's house and see where he is, so I'm just gonna break into the front door. I'm gonna do lockpick. I will say the lockpick mechanic for the first game, I'm not a big fan of. Unfortunately, it is back, so there's that. It does get so in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it's a little like Morrowind in Oblivion in that you level up by doing. So if you want your lockpick skill to go up, you don't just level up and then pick the thing. You can do some of that, and there's certain upgrades you can get, but if you want to up your lockpick skill, you go pick locks. If you want to up your fighting skill, you go fight. That's just the way. It's very old school RPG-ish. Anyway,
I like that. I am a fan of that.
Yeah. Anyway, I broke into his front door and lockpicked it, and then realized that if I'd just gone around to the right, there was actually a ladder that went into his window that I could have just climbed in. But I cannot hear a word you're saying, Nathan. I don't know if you're muted or. Are you hearing him, Fraser?
No, he's gone. He's gone dark.
Okay, I will keep talking. So there will be a lot of that. If you got to go find a random person for whatever reason and you need something they have, you can. I'm thinking of a woman that runs. To keep it PG, we'll call it basically a brothel. You need to basically steal a. Well, you don't need to steal. Obviously, I'm giving away what I did, but you need an outfit that's basically a thieving outfit. You can buy it from her. You can try to intimidate her into giving it to you. You can break into her house. Obviously, I broke into her house. Which is kind of the way I usually with RPGs, I'll do like a thief magic build thing. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, the magic thing is inconsequential. There's not really, at least as far as I have gotten, I haven't run across like any magic staffs or anything. And based on the first game, I don't think I'm going to be. So that's a little bit. You're not going to be like an elf that can, shoot lightning out of the tips of your fingers or anything like that. Which sounds like kind of what Avowed is. So
Yes.
yeah, you won't be getting any of that in this game. So I've just been enjoying like certain situations, tackling them different. Stealing horses, unfortunately, unless you take them to the right person and like get them embedded into your name, which costs some money. You'll steal a horse, you can go from one town to another. Oh, reputation is a big thing in this. If you screw around in a town too much and steal from too many people and get caught doing it, you will get a bad reputation in that town, and that word will travel around to the rest of the map.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's not quite like the karma system, like in Fallout or anything like that. It's a little like karma. You'll kill a bunch of people, you'll get bad karma, and then there's just people you can't interact with. Basically, it doesn't quite work like that. But yeah, if you screw around with your reputation too much, it will follow you, and then that will follow you in conversation. I've already associated with a couple people that like even when I bring them up, people are like, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?" But yeah, I'm trying to dance around spoiling this too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Nathan's gonna play it. I can't even tell. Nathan, hold up one finger if you're gonna play it. Oh, now I can. Yeah. Now I
had to
can.
switch to my headset. No, I'm having some technical difficulties over here. I told you guys how I have this USB hub where everything's plugged into, having
Mm-hmm.
some issues with it. No, I would like to. I would actually really like to. The everything you're talking about, I really love it. And some of the, I love the fact that like if you wanted to make something, you wanted to become a blacksmith. It's a very detailed, like you go and you make that weapon. So yeah, I really love games like this. The issue, like we've been having in the chat here, is the issue of time and how like every game is like 100 hours, so you have to be really picky about what you choose. So really, all of that comes down to will I have a window to hop into it this year, um, between like Monster Hunter and all that stuff. But
Mm.
So so I will say, there's a this isn't really a game. I mean, I do it. This isn't really a game that I would recommend that the average person, like you come home from work and you cook dinner or whatever. Say you got 2 hours before you need to go to sleep. This isn't really a relaxing game. It doesn't bother me that much, but like there are times where like you're gonna get into the game and you'll only have like a couple hours to play. And so like if you're gonna make a sword as a blacksmith, like you don't just take the items and then go to the stone and hey, the sword's done. Like you actually have to like run the forge and stick the thing in the thing and hammer it into the thing. There are times where you have to literally shovel shit. It's a kind of a life simulator in that way, I guess. Um, so
I think that's
it
amazing.
yeah, it is a little annoying sometimes. Actually, I got really sucked in. I was just looking at my Steam profile. I've got, where was it? Kingdom Come. It's not in K's. It must be in my favorites. I must have. I want to see how much time I've put into this. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. 53 hours. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
53 hours in 2 weeks. So that would tell you I'm enjoying it, I would think. But yeah, there is going to be some stuff that's a little bit of an inconvenience, and the save thing. I mean, the save thing is annoying, and I haven't really had this happen. I would imagine if you played for 3 or 4 hours and then died and lost. Anyone that's complaining about like losing multiple hours of progress at once, I kind of want to slap you because I'm wondering how that's possible. So, I don't know if I guess it does have an autosave feature in that if you're not using the quick save mod or any of that stuff. I also had told some people if you want to save, just do something. And they got a little confused. So this doesn't matter if it's a main quest, if it's a side quest, anything like that. If you're questing, um say I go to a lady and she needs me to go to another town and get some potion and bring it back. So I talk to her, I take the quest, the game is going to save there. I go to the other town, I get the thing, the game is going to quick save there. And then I go back to the lady, I give it to her, and it's going to quick save after I give it to her, and then I get whatever my rewards are. So if you end up like dying and losing 3 or 4 hours of progress, I would wonder what the hell you were doing in those 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if you do it and you lose like a half hour of progress, say like you got the quest, you went from one town, but then you took this little side thing, and then you did a bunch of stuff in this other town and didn't really do any missions, but you sold some shit and bought some shit, and then you went to the next town and oh, you didn't get there, some people ambushed you and killed you. Okay, yeah, that sucks because it didn't save in any of that because you didn't do it, you didn't make any progress in the quest. Um, that's another thing. The fast travel system harkens back a little bit to like the old Pokemon stuff and like old Final Fantasies in that if you fast travel from one place to another, it'll bring up the map and then like it'll dot from one place to the other and your little guy that kind of looks like a chess piece will go, and then sometimes it'll randomly stop and oh, you ran across this guy and his horse's leg is broken, do you want to stop and try to help him? Or you ran into a beggar, do you want to stop and try to talk to him? For your own safety, I probably wouldn't do that. there's a 50-50 shot that's not gonna turn out well, or you'll run into some thieves that ambush you and you can try to get away, or you can deal with it. It's kind of a turn-based mechanic, but the game is not turn-based. When you, I guess random encounters is the word I'm looking for when you're fast traveling. But if like you try to escape and it doesn't let you escape and you fight, it's not turn-based combat. Like you got to pull your sword out and kick some ass or get your ass kicked, depending on how that goes.
So, with the side quests, I've got a question about the side quests. Don't let me lose track of that. I want to talk about how long to beat first. While you were talking about how many hours you put into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I looked up on howlongtobeat.com. How long to beat Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? If you want to do the main story alone, it is reported at 48 and a half hours. Main plus extra is 72 and a half hours. And for completionists, 110 hours. Now, to put it in
By
reference, since we're
the
talking
uh,
about.
Let me
Go ahead.
cut you off there for a second. The way I play these games, I will not be a completionist, but probably by the time I beat the main story, I will be somewhere in that 100 hours mark.
That's great.
Just because that's another reason I'm having so much fun. I liked Starfield. So Starfield is a weird game for me in that I put like 120, 130 hours into it, had a lot of fun with it. Every time I try to go back to it, I play for like an hour or two, and then like I never come back to it after that. And it does come down to the exploration. The exploration is neutered because of their ship system and the loading, and it just kind of kills the vibe. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is filling a void in me left by um I guess I'd go back and say as far back as Fallout 4 was probably the last one I played with like this, big exploration and stuff. The map's not as big as the one in Fallout 4. I mean Fallout 76 has exploration, but that game is just built different. Fraser can attest to that. Fallout 76 is fun, but it's not a Fallout 3 or a Fallout New Vegas or even a Fallout 4. It's fun, but it's just built different. You don't run into like random baby carriage that has a fucking jacked up 9mm with a silencer for some fucking reason. That's not really the way Fallout 76 is built. That's another thing. We need another Fallout game.
We do.
There's actually an indie game that's kind of trying to be a Fallout game that oh god, what the hell's the name of that?
Are you thinking of Adamfall?
No. It's being made right. Maybe.
Adamfall comes out in March. That's going to be
Maybe
another
that is
game to be excited about.
maybe that is the game I'm thinking of. Sorry guys, we fucking write for a website and I get like my facts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's
so
hard to keep
much stuff.
track.
I used to make fun of people that write articles and do YouTube and be like, "How could you forget that?" or "How could you misspoke?" or
Same.
"How could you get this? How could you get this crossed?" No, it's a
Same.
lot fucking easier than you'd think.
Yes.
Um,
Oh man, I think about that same thing all the time.
I actually had an article back in December where for some reason I thought that the Binding of Isaac multiplayer mod was going to be something you downloaded in the workshop, and no, it was just something that was like connected to the game, I believe, and you had to sign up for it. Why I thought it was being released through the workshop, I still don't fucking know. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm having loads of fun with it. I could sit here and talk hours about it, but then I'd be dancing around spoilers and shit, and that's not gonna be fun for anyone really. Um, I'm having a blast with it. God, it's only February, so to say this is my game of, I mean, as of right now, with the new stuff that's been released, we're not that far in. Yeah, it's probably, I would say it's my game of the year. And I don't really see anything in March or April that's going to
Fight with it.
yeah, I don't see anything in the near future that's gonna knock it off its pedestal. I don't
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know I don't know if there's anything this year that's got like last year So last year, obviously, I had my eye on Silent Hill 2 remake. And I was always like, when I played oh fuck, the crab game, another Crab's Treasure. That was kind of my game of the year for a little while, and then I moved on to Gory, and then it was Silent Hill 2, and there was just nothing that really like knocked it off that pedestal. It's a little early to be saying game of the year, but like I don't know. I
For
don't know if
you, it's
anything has
safe
a
to say.
shot.
For you, it's
Yeah,
safe to say, like, unless
I
something
don't.
comes out of the woodworks that just shadow drops or is coming out in fall and it does, we don't hear
I
about
mean,
it.
there's a couple of things. I'm pretty hyped for Little Nightmares 3. But since Supermassive is doing that, and it's not the regular studio that does the other two, I'm not really sure what to expect. Because the first two, if you really paid attention to the story, they kind of mind fucked you a little bit. The studio that did those two is doing Reanimaled, and so I'm expecting a little bit of mind screwy stuff with that.
Now,
I'm really looking forward to that Kronos. That
yeah,
looks fucking
thank
sick.
you. I was getting ready to bring up the same thing because I think all three of us put it on our most anticipated list, and with that being up there like Dead Space, I was like, that's actually a game I think for you would be a contender.
Maybe to refresh my memory on even what the hell that is.
It's the
There's so
game
much
that
stuff.
looks like Dead Space. Um, it was announced at Xbox Showcase, wasn't it? Fraser?
Oh, okay, yeah. That's okay. I remember what you're talking about now.
Okay.
So there's that. There's a couple. I guess Karma the Dark World. I didn't even think about that. That kind
Hmm.
of came out of nowhere. Um, so
But
there is a couple things that have a shot, I guess. But like
yeah. Well,
I'll
uh,
I'll really I'll really have to think about my. I will say that, and I know I say this a lot in my reviews. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is definitely not for everyone.
yeah.
Um, I think a lot of older RPG fans like myself are probably loving the hell out of it, and the sales alone. It's only been a few weeks and it's already reached 2 million, which I believe I brought this up in my article. I want to reiterate. It took the first game a whole year to hit 2 million.
Wow.
So, and I think after the first million, the devs came out and said it's already made its money back.
Good.
So they're literally in pure profit mode now.
An article
So
you
I'm
covered.
yeah. Now it is a little different. They're owned they're owned by a company that's owned by oh, for fuck's sake. They own like more stuff than Microsoft does. What the
Uh,
hell's the name of it?
isn't it?
Embracer.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. They're owned by a company that's owned by Embracer. So they're not like the little tiny indie studio that they were. Although Embracer leaves them alone from what I've read, so they kind of
They
are.
fucking better.
But yeah, but um I mean Embracer's issue is probably kind of like Microsoft in that they probably leave their studios alone too much. I don't think there's a lot of oversight going on with Embracer. I think they just buy shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they just buy shit and they say make us money, and then if they somewhat underperform, they're just you're dead.
They either shut it down or sell it, one
Yep.
or the other. Um
Yep.
But
Fucking
I'm
mercenaries.
having loads of fun. It hits the mark for me. I know my tastes are not. I like weird indie horror games and uh kind of weird shit that's kind of out of left field. I mean I like some mainstream stuff too. I'm a metalhead at heart, so the way I game is kind of the way I listen to music too. Um, but
So,
yeah,
yeah, to kind of, like I said, I got a question for you, and we need to wrap up here. But Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, 48 and a half hours, main plus extra 72 and a half, and then completionist is 110. Now, for if you are still on the fence on which one you will tackle, um, their Avowed main story is 17 and a half hours, main plus extra is 33 and a half hours, completionist 61 hours. So that might help kind of give you
Huge
an idea of
difference.
what you want to tackle this month. Um, and then yeah, Adam Fall is another thing. Like who knows what Adam Fall? Because I know uh, any name will do in the chat. It's talking about tackling Adam Fall and not sure how many games he's going to tackle, and that is very much my problem too because
Mm.
March is a Nathan ass month. All right, we've got fucking
Dude, Shadows.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, Killing Floor 3, and the month starts off with Split Fiction. So, absolutely phenomenal. Speaking of which, hey, uh, if anyone is interested in Split Fiction, we covered an article this week. I believe Dano wrote it up. I could be wrong, so I apologize if I'm wrong. But Split Fiction is going to be the first game made by them where you can buy it, and the friend pass. When you buy the game, if you don't know anything about the publisher, when you buy the game, it comes with a free copy of the game to give with a friend because you have to play the game co-op. Now, this is going to be the first one where that copy for your friend goes to it's cross-platform now. So if I buy it on Xbox, I can give I can give the friend copy to somebody on Steam, which is super, super, super fucking cool. Um,
Yeah.
again,
I
here
kind I kind of wish I could play Split Fiction, but I just I can't.
I totally understand.
To,
But
to
Mm.
to anyone that's listening, I'm gonna be very Okay, all I'll say is that the It Takes Two game I played with someone very, very special to me that unfortunately is no longer around anymore. You two know what I'm talking about.
yeah, that's
Um, yeah, and it's just it would bring up too many old memories that would make me happy and sad. So
yeah.
Mm.
I understand. I get
Yeah.
that.
anyway,
I get that. Um, but the question I was going to ask about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 before we wrap things up here is, do you feel like the side quests? Do you find yourself doing a lot of fetch quests, or are these quests that you
so
find
so
getting you into a
so
whole new story?
I mean I guess technically there see the in a big open world RPG, you're gonna be sent on fetch quests. It's just the way it is. It's one of the reasons that I thought Breath of the Wild, and it's a decent game. I thought Breath of the Wild was way, way, way overrated. Talk about a fetch quest fest. Um, but the best RPGs send you on fetch quests without you really realizing that you're on a fetch quest. So like stuff by like, oh, I've got to go get this potion from this chick. Well, you enter town and you figure out who this chick is and you find it, and you ask her for the potion and she won't give it to you. So then you try to intimidate her and she ain't liking that, and she's like, I'll sell it to you for 100 um grok, whatever the hell the currency is, but you only got 50. So then you wait until she goes to sleep and you go sneak in and you knock her the fuck out and you take it. Um, and then it doesn't feel like you were on a fetch quest because it took you like a half hour and you went through all these steps and a bunch of them didn't work. Instead of just going to the person and say, "Hey, I need your bow," and they give it to you and you wander off.
Those are the
Um,
good kinds
Yeah.
of fetch quests. The ones you don't
yeah,
realize. Oh yeah, I guess I am just getting a potion and taking it from point A to point B.
but it doesn't feel like that because
That's
you've done
good.
all this
That's
other
good.
shit. And that was my issue with, not to harken back to Breath of the Wild, but that was one of my issues with Breath of the Wild. It's like, oh, you need to go get this thing, so then you go and you get the thing, and then you move on to getting the other thing, and then you move on to getting the other thing. As where like the three of us could play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and because I play as like a sneaky thief who likes to talk his way out of shit and play the dice game way too much. If Frazier is really into sword play, and yeah, I don't know how the hell you would play it, but the point is, if your play style is different, you're gonna have two very different experiences.
Um, real quick, chat. Can you hear me at all? Because I just realized that while you guys may be able to hear me, chat may not be able to hear me because my microphone that I had to switch over microphones and it's not connected to OBS. Um, let me go
Mm.
ahead and switch that real quick so I can do our outro. Um,
Yeah, they can. I just turned you up on YouTube. You're there.
okay. Thank you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. Thank you. Okay, sound very low. Yeah, I'm gonna work on my microphone situation off air. Hopefully, we can get things up and running soon. But hey, it's been really great having you in the chat, anything we'll do. And then Harry and Steve for a little bit, and Dano. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back again next weekend on Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Uh, we do this every week, and then we'll probably have a news episode throughout the weekdays. We're still trying to lock down specific dates so that way we can be more clear with you guys on when you'll be able to actually see that. But yes, it's been a lot of fun. Um, Fraser, I'll just go ahead and ask you on here. What would you
Yeah.
be down to do some Killing Floor 3 streaming? It would be my Sunday night. I don't know what that would be for you. That would be Monday for you.
Monday morning, I believe.
Yeah, would you be down to do some
Um,
Killing Floor 3 streaming?
right now, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Whether anything comes of that is, I
Okay.
couldn't tell you. Sorry,
No,
Monday's
you're
too far
fine.
away.
You're fine. You know what, guys? I will be here streaming Killing Floor 3 and maybe Fraser. Let's go with that. And I'll keep you
Yep.
updated on like specific times of that nature. So yeah, because we are in the beta, and I would love to get to share that experience with you all. So thanks again. We will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.